This is note-taking guide 4.2. It's writing equations and inequalities in one variable. Before we get started on this, I want to just talk about some different words that we can use and to represent the addition sign, the subtraction sign, the multiplication sign, and the division sign. Lots of times we use the word add for plus, or we use the word plus. Sometimes we use the word sum. If we use the word product, we're actually talking about multiplying. If we say the word doubled, doubled is when we multiply because we're multiplying by 2. Increased would be addition. Decreased would be subtraction. We can also use the word minus or subtract. We could use the word quotient when we're dividing. We could use the word divide. There's just lots of different words that we use sometimes instead of just saying the regular words that we're used to hearing. If I say more than, I'm usually talking about adding something together. If I say 3 times a number, then I'm talking about multiplying it by 3. So here's some examples of the ways we use those words. We're going to use those words today to help us write the equations or inequalities in the next few examples. So this first problem right here, it says to write an equation or inequality that describes the words. So the sum of k and 20. Well, sum means to add, so the sum of k and 20 would just be k plus 20. Number 2 says the product of 16 and p. 16 and p, if we use the word product, we would multiply those together. So we can just put 16p. A to the 7th power would be literally that, a raised to the 7th power, so the 7 would be an exponent. 49 increased by a number. Increased would be plus, and a number could be a variable like x. So 49 increased by a number. Twice the number, again the number could be x, it could be y, you can call it any variable you want to. And then if we're doing twice a number, we want 2 times it. So it would be 2 times x. Then the last one on this little section right here says 8 increased by twice a number. So if we're going to do 8 increased, that would be plus. Twice a number would be 2x. So 8 increased by twice a number. So really what we're doing today is we're using our skills, knowing the words and what they mean, to write our inequalities or inequations. Or our equations. I'm sorry, that sounded funny. All right, let's take a look at these next examples and see if we can add some signs into them with greater than, less than, equal to, those kinds of things going on here. So it says the difference of a number and c and 17 is more than 33. The difference of a number and c. So the difference would be subtraction. So the difference of a number, c, and 17 is more than 33. So more than would be greater than or equal to 33. So the difference of a number and c, So we have to wonder, should it be c minus 17 or should it be 17 minus c that's greater than or equal to 33? And I want you to think about that just for a minute, because if I said, instead of saying the difference of a number and c, if I said the difference of 12 and 17, you would tell me that that difference is 5, because we would do 17 minus 5. So when we wrote these out, we really should have put the 17 first, because the difference between a number and c means that that c is going to go first. Okay, the next one, the product of 3 and a number x, so the product means multiply of 3 and x, is at most 21, which means the biggest it can be is 21. So this is going to have to be less than 21. I don't get to put an equal sign in there because it didn't say less than or equal to, it just said less than. The next one says the sum of 14 and twice a number. So the sum of 14 and twice a number. Oh, and it called the number y, so I need to erase that n that I just wrote. Sometimes I like to use the variable n for my number, but this time it told me it had to be y, so I actually have 2y, is equal to 78. So it's going to actually be equal to the number 78 this time. And then number 21 says the sum means plus, of 7 and 3 times the number. So the sum of 7 and 3 times the number b is at least 12, which means the smallest it can be is 12, which means it has to be greater than 12. Okay, so what we really do is we just read those, look at the words that we know and what they mean, and then write the inequalities or equations with them. Okay, the last kind of problem we're going to do today is to check whether the number is a solution to the equation or inequality. So what we're really going to do is substitute this number in place of the x and see whether or not it satisfies the equation. So 6 times 3 plus 7, and I need to know if that's equal to 25. 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 plus 7 is 25. So 25 is equal to 25. That checks out. So my answer would be yes, 3 is a solution. The last example here asked me to put 36 in place of my b and see if it satisfies this equation here. So I'll have 36 over 4 minus 7, and I want to know if that's equal to 3. Sometimes I like to put a question mark there just to remind myself that I don't know for sure. I'm checking to see if it is. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I would have 9 minus 7 equals 3. 9 minus 7 is 2, and 2 does not equal 3. So my answer here would be no.